Key review 3, verbal communication strategies. We're going to identify examples of bypassing language. Bypassing occurs when two people use the same word or phrase but mean different things, or use different words to refer to the same concept. This can lead to significant misunderstandings. For example, let's meet early. You mean 7:30 a.m., they mean 9 a.m. To avoid bypassing, always define terms, give clear examples, and ask brief clarifying questions. Wear casual. You think jeans, they think business casual. Please do the report. You think one-page summary, they think a 10-slide deck. I'll be there soon. You mean 5 minutes? They expect within the hour. So to fix bypassing language where we use the same word or phrase but mean different things, or use different words to refer to the same concept, we can avoid bypassing by always defining terms, giving clear examples, and asking brief clarifying questions. Connotative versus denotative meanings. Denotative meanings are the literal or dictionary meaning. For example, a teacher is defined as a person who instructs students in school, which is the denotative meaning. Connotative meaning, the personal, emotional, or cultural associations you attach. For example, a teacher can connote mentor, supportive guide, or for some, maverick. So to review, denotative means literal dictionary meaning, and connotative means the personal and emotional or cultural associations that we attach. Prefer denotatively clear phrasing in directions and anticipate connotations in sensitive topics. Concrete versus abstract language. Concrete language are the words that you can see, hear, touch, taste, or smell. They're very specific. For example, 2 red apples. Abstract language uses general or idea level terms such as quality, success, or patriotism. These words are open to interpretation. To make your communication clear, you can pair abstract terms with concrete examples. For example, 3 defect-free test runs are how we're defining quality. So to review, concrete are the 5 senses, abstract is the general or idea level terms. And to make it clearer, you pair abstract terms with concrete examples. The 5 ways words have power. They can create and label experience. They can communicate feelings. They can affect thoughts and actions. They can shape and reflect culture. They can make or break relationships. First, they can create and label experience. Naming something like imposter syndrome shapes how we notice and understand it. They can communicate feelings. Word choice and tone directly convey emotions, influencing how messages are received. Words can also affect thoughts and actions. Framing a concept such as investment versus cost can alter decision-making processes and perspectives. Words can shape and reflect culture. Terms like chosen family or remote first signal shared values and evolve with cultural shifts. Words can make or break relationships. Words used in apologies, compliments, or insults can profoundly alter interpersonal closeness and trust. The Sapir-Whorf hypothesis suggests that the language we use can influence how we think and perceive reality. If a language has many terms for snow, speakers may notice finer distinctions in snow. So someone from Texas wouldn't be able to perceive reality of snow as well as someone from Alaska. So review, the 5 ways that words have power are: they can create and label experience, communicate feelings, affect thoughts and actions, shape and reflect culture, and make or break relationships. And the Sapir-Whorf hypothesis suggests that language we use can influence how we think and perceive reality. It's also important to distinguish between descriptive and evaluative verbal messages. Descriptive messages are when you report what you observed and its impact, often with I language. For example, when the deadline changed at noon, I felt rushed because I'd planned for the afternoon for edits. Evaluative language often comes across as defensive, can judge and label the other person, and it often uses the word you to blame. How can we use this? Favor descriptions to lower defensiveness and keep problem solving on track. Empathetic versus detached verbal messages. Empathetic messages are supportive, whereas detached and neutral messages are more defensive. Empathetic or supportive messages acknowledge and validate feelings, showing perspective taking. For example, I can see this is frustrating. Let's look at options together. Detached or neutral can come across as defensive because they often ignore or minimize feelings and sound uninterested. For example, calm down, it's not a big deal. Superior versus equal verbal messages. Superior messages can come across as defensive, while equal messages can come across as supportive. Superior messages imply status or power over the other. They can come across as preachy or condescending. Obviously, the right way is my method. Do it as I say. Equal or supportive messages treat the other person as a capable partner. They're often used with a collaborative tone. You've got experience here. What do you recommend we do next? An equal stance to build trust and joint problem solving can usually get you further than a defensive stance. Gunnysacking is saving up past grievances and dumping them on the current discussion. For example, last month you did this thing, or last year you did this thing. It overwhelms the conversation and escalates conflict. How do we fix gunnysacking? Address one issue at a time. If past patterns matter, reference them briefly. Focus on specific current behaviors and solutions. So to review, gunnysacking is saving up past grievances, and it can overwhelm and escalate conflict. And we should focus on one issue, referencing patterns, using current behaviors, and focusing on practical solutions.